Wonderachievers is a comedy podcast. We're just three friends hanging out in an apartment talking about whatever's on our minds. That being said, there may be some strong language, sexual references, and irreverent humor. This is all for the sake of comedy, entertainment, and the free expression of ideas. Thanks for listening. Now on to the episode.
That's fine. I was like, fuck this. I'm gonna go outside and smoke a cigarette. Stepped outside. Could hear him clear as day.
Outside?
Yeah, outside. I was sitting there smoking a cigarette and I hear, oh, God! Ah. Well, the weird thing is I could hear it through their door. They're upstairs, but I could hear it through their door. It was like the sound traveled down the stairs and through the fucking door.
It's like the stairway is just like a cave.
Yeah.
Of like, just like orgasm.
Yeah.
It's like the cave of orgasm. Your upstairs neighbors, like, you talk about being able to hear them fuck a lot.
Yeah, it happens quite a bit.
I wonder if they're trying to show off. Like, you got to be aware of it, especially living in an apartment complex. You're definitely aware of how loud you're being, right?
I mean, I am, but I think I'm just generally more aware of my presence and how it affects others.
That's
probably
good.
a low self-esteem.
So we've been away from the podcast for a while. What's it been, like a month without a new episode? Because that's how long I was on the movie, was a month. My last job was a month. And
I feel like it's been longer than a month. I feel
maybe
like almost 2 months, hadn't it?
Almost 2 months? Maybe a month and a half. I think
because the last two we recorded, we didn't upload.
Right.
Yeah, so there's two that we just scrapped all together.
Yeah. But we're back at it. Grant's not here. The Nuge is absent. Because he got a job. He's back in the movie biz.
Yeah, lucky bastard.
He's living that grip life.
Yeah. I'm the only one that's not a wonder achiever. You guys are you and Grant are the one that are actually achieving shit. I'm just sitting around doing manual labor and drinking.
Man,
spending way too much time thinking about the mysteries of life.
Yeah, the wonders of the universe.
Yeah. I think that's why I like that fucking movie so much that I'm thinking of ending things.
I haven't finished it. I got through halfway.
Oh, dude, it takes a twist.
Like, does it take a twist?
Yeah, you think it's about one thing, but then, like, the problem is, like, there's a lot of, like, kind of decoding what it's trying to say. Like, the ending, it takes a weird turn, and you're like, I'm not sure what the fuck this is.
Yeah.
Which is why most people, whenever you read the reviews, they're like, I don't understand this movie. It's fucking stupid.
Oh, are they like, the movie fucked?
Yeah, but I got it immediately.
Really?
Yeah. Which is why, like, I felt like it was exploring all these fucking questions I've been thinking about for the last 2 or 3 weeks.
You should get together with Charlie Kaufman and just, like, have a conversation.
Yeah,
Charlie,
weird fucking dude.
We should have him on the podcast. Mm-hmm. Open invitation. Charlie Kaufman, if you're listening.
I still need to rewatch Being John Malkovich.
That's a good movie.
I watched it, like, way back when I was, like, 14.
Yeah.
I think I was way too young to, like, understand any shit.
It's one of those movies that you watch when you're a teenager to make you seem like a hipster. I don't watch movies. I watch films. Yeah. But then you don't actually understand it until, like, you're an adult.
Yeah, well, I mean, that movie that I'm thinking of ending things, like, I feel like that's a movie that I probably should have hated. Like, it's everything I hate. Like, just doesn't explain it. Like, it doesn't really explain overtly anything. Mm-hmm. It kind of ends on a weird note, and it's just like, it's really pseudo-intellectual.
Yeah, see,
I feel like I would fucking hate it, but I loved it.
Yeah, I thought it came off pretentious a little bit. A little pretentious, and a little, like, it thought it was deeper than it actually is.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
How far did you get? Like, what was the point that you quit?
So, they're headed home. From the parents' dinner.
Yeah.
And like all of the weird shit where she's like going back in time and like seeing and forward in time, seeing the parents when they're like old and dying, seeing them when they're younger. I'm like, I feel like they were manipulating time as a way to show like what it feels like being in a relationship that should end. You know, she's like, it's like we were seeing inside her mind.
Yeah.
And it's like she's thinking about like all of the things that led up to this and like how far in the future it's going to go because it feels like it's never going to end, even though she wants out of the relationship. So it's like I kind of got what it was trying to kind of do, but something about it, I was like, it lost, I think, the car, like getting back in the car, because it had me engaged while they were like during the dinner, and all the crazy shit's happening.
I thought the car scenes were some of the best.
But then getting back into the car, I was like, I don't know. And
well, I'll tell you what, you got to watch it all the way through because it's the ending. Like the ending kind of flips everything on its head and kind of changes the whole meaning of the rest of the movie. And it's one of them things where everything seems so fucking like everything is fucking weird in that movie.
Right.
Until the very end, and it kind of reveals some shit to where, well, I think from what I read, the book like actually explains it better.
Oh, that makes sense. I didn't even know if it was based on a book.
Yeah, it's based on which I need to order the book whenever I get paid. I want to read the fucking... It's by a new author. That's his first. He's got a second one out, but I want to actually check out that book. But the ending kind of... Everything comes together to where you're like, that's why everything's been so fucking weird.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like... Is it kind of like a... You said it was like a twist, right? So it's like...
It's
like you think you have things figured out, and then... It changes.
Yeah, there's a major twist in it. The only problem is, like, I know it's a visual medium, so they kind of wanted to go in a direction to where it was visually stunning, but I feel like there was a lot of people just too fucking stupid to actually think about it and be like, oh, this is what was going on. There's most of the reviews, it's like, I don't get what is going on in this movie.
Right.
But it's because the ending, they made some stylistic choices to where you're going to be like, this is kind of weird. But if you actually think about it, you're like, okay, I get it now.
Right.
Yeah.
If you get yourself on the same wavelength as the movie,
Yeah.
where you can understand it. I feel like it's like a lot of people when they're watching shit will like take it at face value.
Yeah.
It's like surface level what they're seeing and what they're hearing, you know. But it's like sometimes you gotta like really deconstruct that shit. Like look at like how did this scene, like regardless of what the actual dialogue is or what's actually happening, it's like how did it make you feel?
Yeah.
What role did that scene play in the rest of like what happens? It's like you gotta think deeper. It's weird.
Well, I will admit the movie is like pseudo-intellectual, like just fucking self-masturbatory bullshit.
Would you call it like postmodern?
Yeah.
Yeah, like very postmodern.
I fucking hate postmodernism, but I guess since that was shit that I was thinking about for a while, it kind of resonated with me. So I'm like, well, this is postmodern, it's just self-masturbatory, look how smart I am bullshit, but I get it, so I like it.
It's like a topic that you've like, jerked your own brain off about.
Yeah. So at least I can admit it's kind of bullshit. I feel like most of the people in my position wouldn't admit, they just think you were stupid for not getting it.
Right. Yeah, there's like, everybody's got movies like that that they like. Like even with Charlie Kaufman, I can admit that like Eternal Sunshine is like a lot of bullshit. It's weird.
I've heard so many people love that movie. It just did not interest me.
It didn't click with you? See, I really like it.
Well, I never watched it.
Oh, you didn't?
But like I know basically what it's about, and I'm just like, it doesn't really seem that interesting. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I've had a shit relationship where I'm like, these memories suck, but I'm not gonna fucking take them out.
Right. Yeah, but that's the thing is, it's like, because it's not even an option in real life.
Yeah.
But it's
what
like,
if it was?
What if you could? Yeah.
He's got another movie that I've heard about, but I haven't watched, Adaptation.
I don't even think I've heard about that one.
Yeah, it's...
Do you know, like, the premise?
I think it's kind of autobiographical about Charlie Kaufman.
Oh, really?
It's half autobiographical and half, like, fantasy. I guess it's, like, about him trying to adapt this book into a movie and, like, all the problems he had. So he just made a movie about that.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. So it's like it's something that he couldn't adapt into a screenplay. Yeah. So he made a movie about the process of trying to adapt it. It sounds like him, because he always goes, like, meta.
Yeah.
With his shit, yeah.
Which I'm interested, like, once I get done reading Blood Meridian, I've all the stuff I've read about is like they've tried to make a movie, but it just seems like it's unadaptable to the cinematic screen, which I want to actually read about why it is.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I agree that I don't know. It's one of those things. It's like I don't think that anything is unadaptable, but will it be as effective?
Yeah.
As the written.
Well,
medium,
I think they shouldn't go a movie route. They should do a limited series run on like HBO or something.
Do like
somewhere
like 4 hour-long episodes maybe or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Like because it's an actual fucking journey of a book.
Yeah.
But that you'd want to actually have time to flesh it out and let the story goes where it is instead of like trying to cram all this shit into a 2-hour movie.
Oh yeah,
it would not work.
It wouldn't work. I mean, even if you're gonna make it one movie, it would have to be like a 3-hour at least.
Yeah. My only problem with that book, and I think it's just that he writes in a very dated style. Like,
I mean,
there's a lot of paragraphs where it's just like there's like 7 or 8 words that nobody ever fucking uses anymore. So you're just like, what is he trying to say here?
He does use a lot of like archaic language, like words that just people don't use anymore. I always will look up shit when I'm reading a Cormac McCarthy book, like all the time.
Well, are they all like? I listened to the audio version of No Country for Old Men, and I feel like he didn't do like all that crazy shit in that one.
That one's a bit more plain, more plain spoken. Yeah. I'll say the Road was pretty verbose, but it's like he wrote that one in a really weird way because it's like it's almost like a journal. Yeah. Like it's like very like it seems like it wasn't edited because it's like there's like little mistakes, grammatical mistakes, or not maybe not grammar because he doesn't really misspell anything or use anything like wrong, but he like I don't know, it just looks very like disheveled. Like the pages look like they were like,
Oh, so you actually read The Road? You didn't just watch the movie?
Yeah, I read The Road. I've read Old Blood Meridian. I've read The Sunset Limited. I've read No Country for Old Men. I think that's it. Yeah. But I really like him. Like, he's one of those, like... I don't know. It's like, for some reason, the young adult novels have never really, like... I've never gravitated towards them.
The only one that I really liked was one that you recommended to me way back in middle school. That fucking Born to Rock.
Oh yeah.
I mean, would that be considered young adult? That was
young adult. Yeah. That was a pretty fun. Yeah. It's fun when you're a kid. Like, it's a fun book. Yeah. But and I mean, I read like Harry Potter and like the Spiderwick Chronicles and like stuff like that.
I could never get into that stuff.
But like, but now that I'm like, a little older. It's like, I just can't get into a lot of the young adult genre. So it's like, whenever I want to read a book, especially like a novel, like usually I'll read something that's like nonfiction. Yeah. Like it's like an encyclopedia on the history of Swedish death metal or something, like some kind of weird like niche thing that I'm into. I just want to read the history of it, But whenever I read a novel, I want to read these authors that are like writing like the great American novels. Like I find myself wanting to read like Steinbeck and Hemingway and like shit like that. Like
I do want to read Fear and Loathing.
Oh hell yeah.
I've wanted to read Moby Dick. I'm thinking about getting that, but the only problem is I know it's gonna be just like that book to where there's gonna be just words nobody uses anymore.
Oh hell yeah.
And I don't want to like I'd say about 90% of the words I didn't know, I didn't even bother to look up. The only time I actually pulled out my phone and looked anything up is whenever I had to translate some of the Spanish in it. Mm-hmm. And that was like I mean, most of the Spanish I didn't even translate. I was like, okay, whenever they're speaking Spanish, I don't fucking care.
Right. And it's like, it's kind of like, you can do that. Yeah. Because it's like from the perspective of the like, the Western dudes.
But like, that book came out in like either 85 or 89, one of them. Mm-hmm. Like, what if you picked up that book and didn't know Mexican? Didn't know Spanish? Mexican. He's like, okay, well, I guess, I don't know, I guess it's not that important.
Yeah, like before you had like a translator at your fingertips, That's true. I mean, yeah, so he probably wrote it to where, like, even if you didn't understand the Spanish, you could make it through. It's like you're watching a Western. Yeah. And it's like when you watch a Western, it's like some, Tejano will throw a little Spanish out there, and you're like, I'm watching John Wayne. Like,
I mean, there's a couple, besides a couple of those books that I mentioned, the only other one that The Myth of Sisyphus.
I haven't heard of that one.
Albert Camus? He's a French philosopher.
Okay.
It's akin to nihilism.
Is it
absurdism?
Yeah, okay.
Absurdism.
Okay.
So basically, from what I like, it goes into the myth. Sisyphus, the Greek tragic hero, the one who had to push the rock up the hill, and every time he got it up there, it rolled down.
Yeah.
He basically he's putting that as like an allegory for life. How you toil and toil and toil, and you finally get that rock up the hill, and you're happy, and then all of a sudden something happens, and you're all the way back down at the bottom. Mm-hmm. Basically, what he was saying is like that's the cycle of life. Now, the only way to get past that is to imagine Sisyphus as happy in his toils. He knows it's a useless venture because he knows exactly what's going to happen when he gets to the top, but he just doesn't care. He just says, okay, I'm going to choose to be happy. This is ridiculous. It's absurd what I'm going through. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, it's either that or nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like, is it kind of like
it's a way out of nihilist thought.
Okay, yeah, because
like
nihilism leads you down this can lead you down this like a spiral.
Yeah,
and like put you in a state of like complacency almost, or like stagnance.
Yeah, well, it's nihilism. Basically, it's whenever you're saying, hey, like none of this matters, like we don't exist, nothing exists, it doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's like that, but you're saying, well, nothing may or may not matter. No way for me to know. So why don't I just keep on going and find something that gives my life meaning to myself?
Right.
Yeah.
See, yeah, I've always sympathized more with that, like, because I feel like there's a lot of nihilism in like just society, like Western society, like especially among like the youth, you know.
Yeah.
But whereas a lot of people like sink into despair over like, nothing matters, so why bother doing anything? It's like I've always felt more like, well, if nothing matters, then do whatever the hell you want. Yeah. Like at least make your life something worth living. If nothing matters and you're just gonna die and it's not gonna whatever. It's like, why not shoot for your dream?
Yeah, that's kind of what I've tried to do, but there's always that time whenever you're just sitting around by yourself and you're like, is there an objective morality, an objective truth? I don't know. It's basically it's just me sitting around trying to answer these questions that philosophers of old have spent their entire lives trying to answer. And then just came up with their own version of the answer.
You're a modern day Socrates. You're a Plato.
Who was the Stoic guy that held up the dead chicken? He was like, "Behold, Plato's man." No, he wasn't one of the Stoics. He invented why can't just look up "Behold, Plato's man"?
Okay, I think I know who you're talking about.
Give me a beer.
I do, yeah. That was Diogenes.
Diogenes, yeah. I can't remember. Was it the Cynics?
Yep, he was Diogenes the Cynic. Yeah. He criticized Plato, yeah.
Which cynicism has a negative connotation in modern life, but if you look up the original like Greek idea behind it, it's very different from how people look at it in modern day.
Right. I feel like the original idea was just to keep you grounded.
No.
Like, I don't know, to keep things realistic and logical.
No.
Like I feel like they were always pulling towards that.
My problem with the Greeks is like, they might have invented democracy, but they were like the biggest pedos in the world.
Oh hell yeah! Like it was a part of a rite of passage of puberty.
Yeah.
To like go out into like nature with an older man, and he would fuck you, and that was like, and they would like, I mean, this isn't necessarily pedophilia, but I mean, they would do all sorts of weird shit. Like they would have like homosexual relationships among like soldiers because they were like, it increases their fighting spirit. You're more likely to fight harder for somebody that you're like fucking.
Well, shit, I think it was the Cretan army that had an entire battalion called the Lovers Battalion, and it was just nothing but gay dudes. Yeah. So they'd travel around, do battle, and then whenever they were having their festivities, they'd be like, yeah, let's butt fuck each other in the woods.
I mean, they're literally like fighting for their lovers who are on the battlefield beside them. It is a powerful thing, you know, when you think about it, I guess.
Yeah, but
it's just weird. Like, it's interesting, though, to think, like, you know how they say, like, you're not supposed to judge, like, past shit by your, like, current values?
Yeah.
I can't do that.
I can't do that with pedophilia.
I can't set my... yeah, I mean, some things, yeah, sure. Like, you know, if somebody told me, you know, people used to eat spaghetti with their hands, you know, I'd be like, yeah, sure. I mean, I shouldn't judge them by today's standards, you know?
Well, that's something that aggravates the shit out of me when somebody says, oh, we haven't progressed at all or anything. You realize that pedophilia was fine just, I mean, maybe just a tad bit over 100 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before then, it was totally acceptable. Mm-hmm. You could marry a fucking 13-year-old girl back in like 1920s.
Exactly. Yeah.
Everybody be like, "Oh, that's nice."
And it's like, and that shit has continued. Like there might be the stigma, but then there's also like, it's like weird. Like anything that's a tradition, there's people that are just cool with continuing it. Yeah. Like, I mean, you know, there's like the people that continued, you know, dating teenagers through like the 50s, 60s, 70s. Like, I mean, there was like, I bet you there was a fuck ton of pedophilia during the like hippie movement.
Well, yeah, I mean, even back in the 60s, if you were like 16 years old, you could just be like, I'm gonna go get married, and you go get married.
Yeah.
There'd be like a fucking 25-year-old guy that was dating your daughter, and he'd come up to your house and be like, can I take your daughter's hand in marriage? And the guy'd be like, yeah, sure. That was just fucking cool.
True. That's true. It's really strange.
Really no wonder back in the 50s that wife beating was a just okay pastime.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have your afternoon martini, get a little bored. I'm gonna go slap Susan around.
I saw this, I think it was a TikTok, where somebody was like, the way women, how women romanticize men in the 50s, and it's like this dude dressed up like James Dean, and he's like singing a doo-wop song, and it's like how men in the 50s actually were, and it's like some like greasy like dude with like cigarettes under his like his shirt sleeve, and he's like, you better not talk to me like that ever again, you fucking bitch, and like throwing arms.
All them old fucking movies from back then, like that's something that regularly happened, man.
Yeah,
like you get in a little tiff with your wife, and she'd slap you, and you'd slap the piss out of her, and then you'd fucking kiss, cut to black, insinuation, they make love.
Yeah.
He was like, well, you gotta keep a woman in mind.
And if anybody saw it happening, there was no like stepping in to stop it or anything like that. You just looked the other way.
Which you gotta be a little pissed about all that happening, because if it wasn't for all that bullshit going on for so long, we wouldn't have this modern day overcorrection.
Do you think that's what's going on?
Yeah, it's all this shit is complete overcorrection for bullshit. Now I will say there are some stuff that has gotten maybe a little bit worse, but by and by I think a lot of the shit that people are saying is the woke thing to do is just a major overcorrection when, I mean, I don't remember the 90s really being all that bad. Maybe for, like, police brutality and stuff like that, but most of our culture, I'd say it was perfectly fucking fine.
What all was going on in the 90s? I mean, yeah, you had police brutality. You had the Rodney King riots. You had Republicans still coming down, and Democrats. Like, you just had politicians coming down hard on fucking black people, especially. Yeah, one of, like, the biggest, like, bills that ever, like, you know...
The 94
crime bill that went towards...
Joe Biden put in place. But
yeah, Joe Biden, like, fucking helped write that shit.
So goddamn much.
And
so
now...
goddamn much. I've sat around and looked at Facebook and seen so many fucking people saying we need to end police brutality and shit. Guarantee those people are voting Biden-Harris, two of the people that did the worst for fucking black people going to jail. There was a dude that nearly died because of the death penalty in California. Whenever she blocked information being put forth that could have gotten him off of death row. And the only reason it happened was because somebody superseded her and did a stay of execution. Biden and Harris are pieces of fucking shit.
Yeah.
You don't gotta vote for pieces of shit just because you don't like the other piece of shit a little bit more.
The people worry though that nobody else is no one else is going to vote enough for anyone else to beat Trump. We could vote somebody else in other than the two main choices. But realistically...
Or we could just all collectively not vote.
We could, but it's not going to happen. The rich people are going to turn out for Trump. Or the rich, I want to seem like I'm woke, are going to turn out for Biden.
Oh, the rich people... Yeah, the rich people are going to turn out for whichever one they've thrown the most money at to get their favors in the future. You think Biden cares for you? No, he doesn't.
No.
He cares... little about any of this shit. He just wants to be in power.
Yeah, he's at the end of the line. He's just looking to secure his bag, before he dies.
Yeah.
He's done with any kind of way he was gonna change the country or anything like that. That's why when I see something whenever he teamed up with Bernie after he got the nomination, he teamed up with Bernie and Elizabeth Warren and probably some of the other lefter-leaning Democrats, and he adopted all of their policies basically. I'm so he doesn't have shit. He's not bringing anything new to the table. He's just that same old shit from the Democrats, the same shit that drove people to a state of being okay with voting for Trump. Just to fuck up the system, I'm going to vote for Trump.
And besides all that, he's literally a fucking... He has dementia or Alzheimer's or something. There's no fucking way to argue against that. I don't care how much you say it is, how much it's just he used to stutter when he's younger. No, this isn't stuttering. This is a doddering old man not remembering what the fuck he was trying to say.
Yeah, he's got some issues. I think it could be a combo, of his speech impediments and his age.
I guarantee what happens if he wins, which I'm pretty sure Trump's just gonna win anyway. Anyway.
Sadly,
we're gonna have another 4 years of Trump.
Sadly, I feel that's more likely. I hope not, but I don't really hope for Biden either. I just hope not Trump.
If Biden wins, I guarantee this: at most 2 years, maybe a little less, but at most 2 years. Once it's somewhere in that period, he's going to be I'm not mentally competent enough anymore. I'm retiring. And then Harris gets the presidency.
You think so?
I believe that's
Do you think
the plan.
They're going to gerrymander the first female president to have control over that shit?
Yeah. I guarantee it.
Damn. I wouldn't put it past the fucking the Democrats, the corporate old ass Nancy Pelosi ass Democrats that have been in the game for a long time. They're all just a fucking organization of corruption.
Well, that's another thing that annoys me, man. Nancy Pelosi, she's been one of these people that's leading the charge on shutting everything down and closing down businesses because of the Rona and shit.
Yeah.
So people in California, where she's one of the leaders, they can't go to the fucking hair salon. No. But she can go to the hair salon herself privately. And whenever she gets exposed for it, people are I don't care if she's going to get her hair done. We need to defeat Trump. Trump's the worst. Well, okay, but do you really want somebody in power? Do you really respect somebody in power that bars you from doing something and then goes, it's rules for thee and not for me?
Yeah. Yeah.
These people, they don't like you.
Yeah.
Most of these people loathe you. It's that thing where if you have power over somebody, you're eventually going to grow to hate them because you think you're better than them.
It's one of those things that we always I don't know, you think you can overcome just by having the right people in office. But there's something corrupting about just having that power.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I think we need term limits on Congress.
I don't even think we should. I think we should all just say, hey, fuck you guys. We're going to go do our own thing.
The only thing, though, the one thing that I just can't get past when it comes to, an idea like anarchism or like full on like libertarian, no government, no regulation, is that it just leaves a power vacuum. Because it's like, there are plenty of us who would be like, you know, carpe diem, champions of our own lives, seize the day, and do whatever the fuck we want. But there's a lot of people in this country that I don't know what they would do without the order. Like, if the order that is established now fell apart.
Well, that's it. I mean, that's the problem with anything. You just really everything relies on just enough, the majority of people like just saying, all right, we're gonna be cool, let's just do our own thing, everybody be cool, don't fuck this up. Mm-hmm. If you got enough people doing that and then checking the people that aren't being cool, it's like throwing a party, man. If everybody's just having a good time, hanging out, being cool, if there's a few people that start some trouble, you can get a couple of guys and be like, all right, you guys are fucking out of here.
Yeah.
But that really just relies on everybody being fucking cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know if that's realistic either with, like, the size of the country, like the United States.
No, I'll tell you what, like, either we're going to wipe each other out before we actually get up to space and start colonizing other... If we can make it long enough to get up to space and colonize other planets and actually have this whole deal where we can fly to other planets, like space travel,
like interstellar travel.
Yeah, where it's just something that's like an everyday occurrence.
Yeah.
Like, I think everything would be cool then. You just go to another planet and be like, all right, I like the way they do shit here. I'm going to hang out here.
Yeah.
But all these conflicting ideologies on one fucking planet, I don't think it works. At least not to the size, like back whenever we were hunter-gatherers and tribes. It was all cool.
Yeah, see, that's the thing, is sometimes I wonder if, like, the United States is just too big to, like, function the way that it is now, you know? And, like, go on and sustain itself forever. Well, because it's, like, I feel like each state could be its own country.
Well, the problem is they superseded all ideals of what this country was built on. It was supposed to just be like, all right, we have kind of a government that just kind of oversees national defense a little bit and all this, and the states are the ones that have the power to choose what goes on in their states. And then, but no, they fucking just decided, no, government's the only power that really matters. If the state wants to do something and the government doesn't like it, well, too bad, you guys are quashed.
Yeah.
Which, it works like that, but then again, it doesn't. If you look at the marijuana issue, like, the government tried to do something about that until the majority of the country was finally cool with it. Like, whenever...
that's what I wonder is, like, do the states really not have as much power, or does the government just say they don't?
Well, it's really just, no matter, a government can only last if they have at least some sort of hold on people's minds.
Yeah,
if enough people in the country is just like, I don't fucking care what you say.
Yeah,
like,
we're just gonna do this.
Yeah.
Like,
that's how dictatorships work. Dictators literally have no fucking power. The only power they have is enough people being scared of them.
Yeah, yeah.
If you got most of the country being like, no, fuck you, dude, then they have no fucking power. The only thing that matters is controlling people's minds. If you control people's minds, then which is like, what? You don't think Trump would like to just quash these fucking riots and stuff?
Oh, hell yeah.
But enough people are, like, it's happening enough to where there's enough people there that he can't just fucking send in the army and quash it unless he wants to start firing live ammunition.
Exactly, unless he wants to, invade domestic soil.
Kyle Rittenhouse.
Yeah.
The Kenosha Kyle. Look, I don't care what you think about the kid. I'm not going to say I agree with him, disagree, or whatever. I'm just saying, if you have these fucking protests, which I agree with the protests, if you want to go out and protest and peacefully and shit, that's fine with me.
Yeah.
Once you start throwing fucking firebombs and lighting people's businesses on fire, I don't agree with it, but I will say this. You can't see that happening and not expect some good old boy Second Amendment conservative dudes to be like, no, fuck this. I'm going to go down there with my gun and I'm going to protect shit. That's just a fact. There's going to be people that are going to be like, no, this is bullshit. I'm going to go down there with my gun and we'll see how they fucking feel. That's just something that's going to happen. You can be pissed off about it or not, at least acknowledge, like, there's a reason that is happening, and it's because that there is a small group of people that aren't being put in check, that are fucking burning down people's businesses, attacking people that really shouldn't be attacked, and damn near killing people. I don't know, you probably don't run around the Twitter circles I am.
No, the Kyle Rittenhouse shit is like, it's a touchy subject.
Oh yeah.
Because it's one of those things that people are, it's the latest, I feel like, thing that's like, you gotta be on this side or that side. If you're left, if you're liberal, if you're progressive, if you're pro Black Lives Matter, if you're voting Biden Harris or anybody other than Trump, then you should think that Kyle Rittenhouse is a motherfucker who deserves to be like put in an electric chair or something. And if you're on the right, if you're voting for Trump, if you're against looting and rioting, and you think that police are necessary to have like a peaceful society, then you got to think that like Kyle Rittenhouse was just, you know, exercising his Second Amendment right and protecting, you know, a community that he felt was being attacked. But there's nuances to it where it's like sometimes I feel like things are just like a fucked up situation.
Nah.
And there's no like trying to politicize it is like wrong, because he's a kid for one. So whatever his ideals are, we can't look at them as like the strongest.
Nah.
Because he's not even a fully formed person yet. His brain isn't fully developed. He's going through like one of the most turbulent times of a person's life.
Nah.
And like, and there's the whole argument of, you know, protesting versus rioting. Personally, I think that violence is wrong, and there's a reason why we don't accept it in this society. But there's also like,
I don't understand it. Here's what I don't understand. Like,
okay, what's up?
My problem is like, you're not really harming any police, or you're not getting any sort of real message across by burning down a fucking CVS or somebody's little fucking shoe business. No. You're not making a point there.
No.
I get it. I'm not going to necessarily say I agree with it, but I get it. And I'd say you are a little bit on brand if you're burning down a city hall or a fucking police station or something.
Yeah.
But burning down a fucking Payless shoes and
yeah.
How's that on message? It doesn't make any sense.
Here's the thing. I think it's like if someone is just so outraged that they can't figure out, they literally cannot express themselves in any way other than violence, they're still in the wrong.
Yeah.
But I kind of understand that. If you're so consumed by your rage and your feeling of like powerlessness, that the only way you feel like you'll be heard is if you fuck some shit up. I kind of understand that, but it's still wrong. But there's also a lot of people who are just like fucking at home, laid off from their job, quarantined up, the Rona's going on, and they're bored as fuck. They hear some protests going on.
That's a major one.
They hear a protest going on, and they're like, this has the potential to get exciting.
Yeah.
I want to be a part of it. And then as soon as something goes sideways, they're all like, here's a chance. We all got to hop on. Let's all throw a fucking brick through the window. Let's all start tearing shit down. Let's all start lighting shit on fire because this is exciting. I feel like I'm a part of a bigger thing. It's bigger than myself. I feel like my life is a movie. Like I'm having like the time of my life, because it's like it's either this or sit at home all fucking month long, 6 months long.
I think that's what my problem is. Like, I've really just kind of washed my hands of any of this political bullcrap to where I'm like, well, I got my own opinions, but I don't side with fucking anybody. So I feel like I'm this person outside looking in thinking both sides are just full of fucking retards. Here's something maybe you should consider, but you're probably not going to because you're so up your own ass about how your opinions are right that you're not going to fucking listen to anybody. They don't put any actual self-reflective thought into any of their opinions. No, it's just like, this is what I believe.
It's completely identity.
Yeah.
Like identity politics all the way. This is what the majority of people who I side with are saying is right. I'm with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is, it's such a foreign concept to me at this point because I feel like I will, even a small decision, even like a small thing, I feel like I'd sit around and I'd consider all avenues and actually think it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas most people, it feels like they don't put any real thought into any of their opinions.
No, critical thought is something that we're losing like at a staggering rate in this country, I think, and it's because like I attribute a lot of it to social media because
it's also shit school systems. But I agree. I agree with the social media. I feel like as much good as internet's done, like I feel like it is a good thing. Yeah. The only problem is it has elevated the dumbest possible people among us. It's elevated their voices enough to where they're heard just as much as the other person.
Yeah.
To the point where you can be just a fucking absolute moron and get famous on the internet and have millions of people listening to you and thinking, oh, you're the greatest fucking thing ever. And then it just contributes to people dumbing themselves down for bullshit.
Yeah.
Which I gotta admit, okay, I post some stupid shit.
Well, I mean, everyone likes to have fun.
But at least I have enough self-reflection to where I actually think about this shit instead of just throwing it out there and be like, what the fuck ever, I'm awesome.
Yeah. Some people completely lose themselves in their id on the internet. It's crazy. And it's like, it's one of those things that's like, honestly, like a completely unregulated internet like we had before social media. Because like the like Facebook has their rules and regulations, their terms and conditions. Twitter has their terms and conditions. Google has rules, you know. So all of these things are what have created this like structure that people can just like whatever gets the most likes, and we decide what gets the most likes because we decide what's allowed on this platform. You know, it's allowed that shit to like go on because it's like a completely unregulated internet, just information going out there. The cream will rise to the top.
Yeah, well, that's what. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's like. Hey, you know, it might be a little insensitive, but maybe being able to call somebody a fucking retard if they say something retarded on Facebook, that might actually help. As much as you don't want people to be mean, it might actually fucking help.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody says. Like, I got bullied back in middle school and shit, but I can honestly say, like, some of that bullying was called for, and I became a better person for it. We need to teach people that, you know, somebody's going to be a jackass to you sometime. Somebody's going to say, hey, you're a fucking idiot for thinking this way. Yeah. Maybe instead of trying to get that person in trouble, you think, man, maybe I actually might be an idiot.
Right. I feel like that's where this whole, like, cancel culture, call-out culture thing comes from. Is like, there's so many people that are, like, calling people out for, like, the dumbest shit and trying to get them to, like, apologize, you know, for being insensitive or something. And there's not... and we're not allowing the people to be like, or just man the fuck up, like just like stop being such a pussy about like your like just because somebody says something that like you don't agree with doesn't mean you get to shut them down. Like just ignore it, just go the other way, just like or argue back in like a civilized manner and maybe like change their mind or something. But just this like they were mean to me, shut them down is bullshit.
I remember, like, one time back in middle school, like, my best friends who I hung around with a long time, like, we got to that age where you're like, okay, I'm going to start shit talking. That's just what guys do.
Right.
Yeah. One time they went on me so fucking hard, I started crying. Yeah. But I gotta say, that made me a better person. I feel like I wouldn't be the lovable smartass I am today if somebody didn't fucking just tear me down as a person. Really, being at a low point like that where you're like, man, maybe I really do fucking suck. That I mean, yeah, some people fucking kill themselves. That's just part of life. But at the same time, like, just that complete deconstruction of a human being to where you're like, God, I'm the worst. And that can actually be very helpful.
I mean, I guess I could see both ways. There are people that can't take that. And I do think that...
We call those pussies.
But I don't hope that anyone would end their life or hurt themselves or something like that over, like, some bullying. But at the same time, there's a middle ground. There's like, you can't just shut down every single negative thing somebody says about anyone or anything. There's also, like, I don't know, like, one of the bad things about social media is, like, this whole, like, tribalism that humans have. This, like, tribalist nature, this, like, pack mentality. But it's, like...
Well, do you think that's ever going to go away?
No, I don't. But it could be a good thing. Like, if enough people rally around all of the people that are being jackasses,
Yeah.
then they get put in their place. I feel like that could be a big deterrent to bullying, and that's like a ideal, a value that like isn't really like taught, especially like to children, because we're always told that like, I don't know, to stay out of other people's business, to not get confrontational, to definitely not get violent. But like the people that can't take it, whenever somebody picks on them, they need others to step in and help them out. But I feel like we're not taught to step in and help others.
I don't know. I feel like if somebody's just getting it hardcore and about to have a breakdown, I feel like I'd step in. But
right, yeah. So some people will, despite the programming.
Well, I mean, these people don't like Trump, but you got to realize that's one of the main reasons he fucking won. Was just we had this such overcorrection to where you're like, people are like, be nice, fucking don't say this, don't say that. These are words that if you say, you're basically a fucking Nazi, and shit. Like, it's such this overcorrection that people were just. There's a lot of people that were just fucking done with it. Just I don't agree with you. If you think this way, I don't fucking care. Just don't fucking jump on my ass for calling somebody a fucking retard.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
No,
if you don't like it, just fucking ignore it.
Yeah, the PC explosion is what led a lot of people voting for Trump in 2016.
I voted for Trump, but I mean, for different reasons. That was one of them, but the other one was...
The PC shit, yeah.
I can't side with the left where if you just say the word tranny, it's akin, they treat it like you're literally stomping a fucking transgender's head in.
Right.
That's such an idiotic way to think.
Right.
Where it's like you're completely evil unless you say things exactly the way we want you to say it.
Right. That's the fucking suede denim secret police, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it seems like people completely forgot the concept of they said something I didn't like. Hey, maybe I could just go over here and ignore them.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like I feel like it comes from a place of good intention. I feel like it's like we're trying to move the world in a progressive, direction, but we're doing it in a very aggressive, authoritative manner, and we get to decide what's progressive.
Yeah.
And it's like that's not how you do this shit. It's not how you change people's minds.
Yeah.
Barking at them, calling them names, and trying to shut them down and suppress their freedom of speech.
Well, the problem is they actually believe this. They think they can create a world where what they believe is right is just going to be
across the board.
Yeah, across the board. That's going to be the norm. That's going to be how things operate.
Yeah.
They think that's achievable whenever it's not.
No, there's always going to be people.
Just need to do.
There's going to be people who say "fuck you" just because they just want to rebel against something.
Yeah. So either just get better at shit talking, or accept that somebody's gonna not think that way and they're gonna fucking call you an asshole and a retard if you bring this shit up.
Yeah.
Accept that fact and move the fuck on. Go hang out with your friends that think like you.
Yeah.
You don't have not everybody has to kowtow to these bullshit ideologies that you believe in. So just fucking go to the people that you agree with. If that's such an issue that somebody absolutely has to agree with your way of thinking 100% to hang out with them, then go find people like that and leave other people alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
I fucking hate it. I hate so much shit about how modern life operates.
Yeah, it's one of those things that's like, it's like the kids that set up, safe spaces on their college campus, and then they're getting in confrontations with kids that like invade their safe space. Fucking Joe Rogan and James Hetfield leaving California because of fucking... I mean, I don't know why Joe Rogan left California.
It's because of the Spotify deal he made.
Oh, is it because of that?
Well, he didn't say that exactly, but I think that was a major influence because he was going to make fucking bank off of that, and he didn't want California taking
a shit
ton of their profits and taxes.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, that makes sense. Texas is honestly a badass fucking state.
I
fucking love Texas.
I never really got the Texas
Honestly, I love Texas because it's like, because they value freedom on both sides, like liberty on both sides. Like you've got a fucking like liberal stronghold like Austin, in the smack dab in the middle of Texas, and then you've got, you know, Dallas where all the oil money is, and Houston, you know, that are like super red and like fucking filthy rich, you know, corporate as hell. Like, you got all that shit going on together, and they figured out a way to fucking make it work.
Yeah, but
you know,
I don't know. I feel like Oklahoma's like, I don't know. It's kind of cooler than Texas nowadays. At least where I live. Like, I feel like this town with it's growing. It's been growing for a while, but I feel like with our art scene in this town and just the general growth, I feel like we are on par to be like the new Austin in the same way that Tulsa is considered the new Seattle.
You think so? You think Tahlequah's got that?
I feel like within 15 to 20 years, yeah, we're gonna be big enough and have if they keep the art scene, the downtown, like its weird hipstery ways about it. If they keep that going along with the growth, yeah, we totally have a new Austin scene. We already have a fucking killer arts and music scene here.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, there are a lot of great musicians and artists coming out of here.
And honestly,
and there's all of the great stuff downtown. There's the like Native American history here, the Cherokee culture. There's all sorts of like things to draw on, like the historical, like, I don't know. Well,
it's honestly the college.
If
the college was not there, this town would have died.
Yeah, the college is a big. Yeah, you got all these new people coming from all over the place to this town that's got a lot of potential. I got that new Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 remastered.
Yeah, I never played 1 and 2. I was always... one I jumped on was 3.
3?
Yeah.
I remember, like, I didn't play 3 a lot. I remember I, like, played it at somebody's house. Yeah. But the only thing I remember is that it had that Red Hot Chili Peppers song, like, Fight Like a Brave.
I had some...
Was in the soundtrack.
One song I remember is it's a fucking punk song, Amoeba. Yeah, that was on there. Yeah.
Okay. Dude, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, those video games introduced me to so much music.
Yeah.
Like, the first time that I ever heard Entombed was probably on Tony Hawk's Underground.
Yeah.
Like, the first time I heard, like, a shit ton of punk bands, like fucking Bad Religion and Sex Pistols and shit like that.
Yeah. I've been listening to a lot of, like, old music I'd never really listened, like, fucking, I hated The Clash so much. Just because I knew Should I Stay or Should I Go, which I hate that song so much.
That song is like, it's one of those ones that gets overplayed.
Well, not only is it overplayed, it's just not objectively a good song. It's kind of a shitty song.
It's like, it's not, I don't think it's really shitty, it's just, it's not spectacular. Like the way it gets treated.
The guitar noodling at the beginning. The da-na-na-na-na-na-na.
Yeah.
Like, that stuff, it annoys me so much.
Oh, really?
There's no reason for it to annoy me. It just annoys me so fucking much.
You just don't like the little noises at the end?
Yeah. But then I heard London Calling on The Boys. Yeah. I was like, oh, this is a good song. Then I went back and listened, and I was like, Rock the Casbah. That's a good-ass song. Fucking Lost in a Supermarket. I Fought the Law. Yeah. Clash has got some good-ass songs. It's just like, it seems like there's all these great bands that they pick out one song to play constantly on the fucking radio.
Yeah.
That was my problem with, like, Blue Oyster Cult. That's, like, probably one of my all-time favorite bands now, but all I knew was, like, Don't Fear the Reaper, and I grew to hate that song.
Yeah.
And now that I got back into them, I actually love that song. But they have once so you have much some fucking
context,
shit.
Yeah, once you have some context for Don't Fear the Reaper, you can really appreciate it. Like, but you gotta hear the old shit first. Like,
fucking Fire of Unknown Origin.
Yes,
that record might be one of the greatest rock records of all time.
Dude, they are severely underrated.
Oh yeah, man. Like, they should be right up there with fucking Stones and Zeppelin.
Yes,
and shit. especially with their contributions to heavy metal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, fucking Cities on Flame with rock and roll.
That was one of their. That was like their first. That was their first record.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was back in like, fuck. That was probably recorded.
I think it was like 67.
Yeah, it was. It was early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that predate. I'm pretty sure that song predates Black Sabbath.
Yeah. Somewhere around there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's always that debate on whether like Black Sabbath invented metal or whether it was Blue Cheer.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Sabbath are the first that I can confidently say, yeah, that's metal.
Yeah.
But there are others that definitely had like a lot of
Yeah.
metal in them, you know, or in certain songs, you know. Like even Jimi Hendrix, like the way he like pushed the boundaries of what you could do with guitar distortion.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that helped pave the way for metal. Like there's all these little things that like had elements of metal, but I do think that Sabbath was the first that I'm like, I can confidently say that that is 100% metal. Yeah.
How much do you think that's like chalked up to Iommi's fucked up finger?
I don't know. I wonder that. I wonder because he had to tune his guitar down to like make the strings like loose enough for him to push down on them without hurting his fingers, and all sorts of stuff to like that. Yeah, and like I think that also like their setting, like Birmingham being like the industrial town that it was, like you hear the factories, you hear the machines all the time. It creates this like oppressive, like metallic, like I don't know.
Every time I hear Birmingham, I think of Peaky Blinders. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's setting. Have you watched that show?
I haven't.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's really good. Especially like the third season.
Mm-hmm.
It's got third season, like the main villain is played by Adrian Brody.
Oh yeah.
It's a fucking good ass show. I'd recommend checking it out.
I think I saw it like a few years ago and was like, Peaky Blinders, that just sounds goofy. And I didn't check it out because of that.
You know those like newsboy hats, like the extra. Well, they called the Peaky Blinders because they wear hats like that, but they sew in razor blades on the brim. Mm-hmm. So whenever they get in a scrap, they'd take their hat off and fucking slash the head open of the guy that they're fighting, so blood would go into their eyes and they'd be blinded. So Peaky Blinders. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay, so it's not goofy at all. It's pretty cool. Pretty fucking badass.
Oh yeah, it's a good ass show. I'd recommend it.
Okay, I'll have to check it out. Yeah, I've just been watching The Boys.
Yeah, that's
recently, and I've been watching The Boys and My Hero Academia.
I just can't get into the anime, man.
Yeah,
there's a couple of animes that I like, but I don't know. I can't get into like the fucking ones where they make the real goofy faces and shit for comedic effect.
Right? Like, yeah.
The only one that I really ever loved was Cowboy Bebop.
I was gonna say, if you've never watched Cowboy Bebop, I could see you liking Cowboy Bebop.
That's the anime I really like.
Yeah.
Besides that, I watched Naruto for that was kind of cool, but then again, it's like once they start doing those goofy faces and the giant reactions, it's like, okay, this is kind of dumb.
It's Naruto was kind of dumb though. Like I like Naruto. It gets better in Shippuden. The second part of the series where they're like a little older, it's a little bit more mature.
Have you watched Boruto?
No, I've heard it's shit though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like anytime you want to make a sequel series about the main character's children, I feel like it's gonna be shit.
Hellsing's pretty good.
Is it?
Yeah. I watched the original run and I've seen a couple episodes of the newer run, but I don't got the fucking what is it, Funimation or whatever that.
The Funimation app, yeah.
Yeah, I don't got any of that, so I can't watch like the newer episodes, which the newer episodes have some. The older series has great music. The newer series has like better storytelling.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Okay. I'd recommend watching the old one just for the music. The music is fucking excellent.
Okay. Yeah, sometimes elements like music can carry a show. Like
that was one of the main reasons I absolutely loved Uncut Gems was the soundtrack.
Dude, the soundtrack. I recently rewatched Uncut Gems because I had to because I watched Good Time.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, now I need to rewatch Uncut Gems and decide which one I like more. And I think I kind of like Good Time a little bit more. Like they're both amazing, but I think I like Good Time just a little bit more.
So I was wondering how you'd react to it. It's a fucking crazy movie.
I'm like, the Safdie brothers have only made like what, 3 movies so far?
They made a couple, and I think they got like a couple like student
short films.
Stuff, but yeah. Well, I mean, the movie that got Pattinson to do Good Time was the one they did before. I can't remember what the fuck it was about, but it's about like a true story. It's about a chick's. They made a movie about a chick's diary who was a heroin addict.
Oh, yeah.
In, I think, New York or something. So that's what the movie is. But, like, Pattinson saw the poster for the movie, which was, like, neon lit and stuff. And he was like, I want to work with these guys.
Hell yeah.
And he sent him a message, and they were like, you never even seen the movie? I was like, no, I just like the poster. Let's fucking do this.
Robert Pattinson is fucking cool.
No, he's an amazing. He might be the best fucking young actor around. But
he's fucking cool. Like, I thought he was like lame because he was in Twilight.
Well, that's the thing. I feel like his entire like the only thing he does. How am I going to frame this? His entire life's mission is just to be such a great actor that people completely forget he was in Twilight.
Really? Has he said that?
No, I feel.
Oh,
like
you
that.
just think
watching
that.
the fucking movie. I still need to watch The King on Netflix, which is he's the villain, I think. But Good Time, Lighthouse, like dude's fucking insane as an actor.
Oh yeah, he's great.
He's one of those few actors where you're like, okay, that's Robert Pattinson, but you watch the movie he's in and you kind of forget about it. You
can lose yourself in his character, yeah. Or like, or you can lose him in the character, yeah.
I mean, fucking Lighthouse, that might be tied for my movie of 2019.
I said it was my number one, but Midsommar was like right next to it.
I still need to go back and watch. They have the director's cut of Midsommar on Amazon, which I need to watch.
Do they?
Yeah, it's like got, I think, 30 minutes extra.
I heard it's got quite a bit of extra footage, but I heard that most of it is just like conversations go on longer than they normally did. But I've heard that there is a little bit of like good shit.
Well, the problem with Midsommar is, and I think this might have been just because like whenever I came over to watch it with you, I hadn't slept for over 24 hours. So it's a little loopy. I wasn't zoned in enough to kind of get it.
Okay.
I finally watched like a actual like not a synopsis. You know, Wisecracked?
Oh, so you watched like a video essay?
Yeah,
about
like
it, yeah.
like what's the philosophy behind
right,
it?
like
Is it deep or is it dumb?
Yeah.
And I kind of got the what they were trying to say with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't you say like you watched a video and they were like saying, "Oh, this is like a feminist movie about"? Like, yeah, that's it's not. It's about like really it's her the chick in it. It's basically her like not having a family.
Yeah.
And like the Hargas basically become her family.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like people were saying that like she wins at the end and the boyfriend dies and that's like a win for feminism because he treated her badly. And I'm like, no, it's like a spiral of unfortunate like shit. Like it's bad that he died. That's terrible. And it's like, and she's not like, she doesn't win at the end, but she has been accepted into like this cult. It's like, it's like a twist, like it's like a subversion of a happy ending.
I think I just need to go back to it and watch it while I'm high.
You should. You should, honestly. I want
to rewatch Hereditary because I've only watched it once and I fucking love that movie.
Hereditary is amazing, and
I'm a little afraid to get high and watch that movie.
That movie is legitimately scary.
Yeah. Like before I watched that movie, like I got to a point where I was like, nah, horror movies are shit.
Right, like they're not gonna actually.
I watched that and I was like, okay, there can be some pretty cool horror movies.
Dude, Robert Eggers and Ari Aster honestly like gave me faith in modern horror again. Like before that, I was like, Cabin in the Woods was pretty good. The Evil Dead remake was pretty good. Most of the reboots and like slasher sequels and stuff like that are terrible. They're just shit. Most of the found footage movies are shit. I was like, but then whenever The Witch came out, I was fucking...
I didn't watch that until this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The Witch came out in like 2015, 2016? Dude, it blew me away when it came out.
Oh, I wanted to watch it for so long, but then I asked some people about it, and they're like, no, it's kind of dumb. Well, but then I watched it, and I was like, oh, they just didn't get it.
Yeah. It's one of those things that's like, you have to be into that kind of movie. Yeah. Like, if you don't like that kind of movie, then you're probably going to think it's terrible.
Yeah. You got to kind of have a little bit of a pseudo-intellectual hipster bent about you to...
Yeah. And you got to be able to appreciate the slow burn.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people want a bunch of payoffs throughout the movie, but The Witch really has only one big payoff at the very end, and it's like 2 hours long. Yeah. So you got to... There's a lot of build.
Well, I mean... The real problem with that, and I say problem, and it's not really a problem, it's just an issue for the movie in a modern context, is just that most people are not gonna really... It's hard to follow the movie based on the dialogue.
Oh,
because, like, the old-timey way of talking and all that. Plus, the fucking dad has got the deepest voice in the world.
Sometimes it just sounds like gravelly.
Yeah. Especially
mumbling,
with the weird way the script, like the old timey way the script is, like with his voice and shit. You're like, I can't understand what the fuck this dude's saying.
It's almost like whenever like an Irish person is just like rambling. Yeah. It's like that kind of thing. It's like your ear isn't trained for it because it's like people don't talk that way anymore.
Yeah. Fucking Hereditary. I feel like The Lighthouse was better than The Witch.
The more I watched The Lighthouse a second time because it's on Amazon now, I watched it and I'm like, I think you're right. Yeah. I think it's better than The Witch. Yeah. I really love The Witch, but The Lighthouse is better.
Well, The Lighthouse, like, I think the story maybe be a little bit better, but I like the aesthetic more. I like the black and white, the old timey aspect ratio, all that stuff. Like there's something that really... You can have a shit fucking movie, but if you have just an amazing atmosphere with it, it's
going to at least become like a cult
That's
classic.
The problem with the visual storytelling part of it, is you can have a shit movie, but if you have an amazing atmosphere with it, you could still make some bank off of it.
Right, you could still sell this thing, But yeah, they really did like everything in The Witch that was like... He strived to be period specific with the clothing and the vernacular, the dialogue and stuff. Like it was all like it was like he amped it to 11 with The Lighthouse, because now we've got he's using like old like vintage camera lenses to film with that they had to shoot like tons of light into the room just to get like a dim picture because the lens was so like old. And
that scene where they're just sitting there with like the fucking lantern lighting up the room when it's pitch black all around. Yeah. That lantern was bumped up like 10 times what it would normally be. The actors were basically blind. They couldn't fucking see each other. But on film, it's like, oh, this is just a little bit of light. Yeah. And that's how fucking like the old school lenses worked.
Yeah. Yeah, and like the like, oh my god, everything, the aspect ratio, the way that the lengths they went to, they constructed a lighthouse just for the movie. And like even like Robert Eggers' directing style, like whenever he, like a lot of directors will try to coax performances out of actors, but I was reading about like the shit that he did to Robert Pattinson, like there's a scene where Robert Pattinson gets like splashed with like water from the ocean, but like in reality it was like a hose that they were using to spray him with, and they did that scene over and over and over again, even though he was like getting it right, just because they wanted it to look like he was miserable, because to sell just the misery of the movie.
That's the Kubrick way of doing it. You just make somebody do it so many times until they have a mental breakdown, and you're like, okay, this is a genuine reaction to the scene finally, so let's use that.
It's like, that's real.
Oh, it's completely Stanley Kubrick's fault the way that Shelley Duvall is now.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see the Dr. Phil?
She's fucked up.
Oh, she is beyond fucked. That bitch is on another fucking planet. And it's... I directly put Stanley Kubrick at fault for that one. He broke her mind.
Yeah, he Yeah, he wrecked her.
Yeah.
Have you seen pictures of her when she was young?
Oh, she was hot.
She was fucking hot as shit, dude. Yeah.
Even in The Shining shit, she was pretty hot.
Yeah.
Although, like, fucking Family Guy. I remember that Family Guy where it was like, they basically made fun of her saying she had, like, a fucking giant mouth or something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there was that, like, talking about Shelley Duvall, and there's a cutaway, and she's just got this giant mouth with fucked up teeth.
Yeah.
Like, okay, that's, okay, Seth MacFarlane, she was hot, but whatever.
Right. Man, I can't get down to his cartoons anymore.
I have gone back and watched old school Family Guy, and I love it. Mm-hmm. But there's just, and I haven't got far enough to actually see where the point is where it just kind of fucking falls apart and sucks.
Yeah.
But there is a point in like Family Guy where it's just like, okay, this is kind of shit now.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the Simpsons thing, man. He got too much success. It ran for too long, and he just kind of was like, okay, fuck it. We're going to phone it in. Right. He
did those spin-offs and different series, like Cleveland Show and American Dad.
I never liked Cleveland Show. I like him. American Dad's good.
American Dad is still good.
Yeah.
Like to this day.
It is?
Yeah.
I
think so.
Well, I haven't watched any of those shows for a long time.
Well, yeah, like, I haven't watched a new season of American Dad since like 2018.
But I remember. I feel like where I kind of left off on it. I feel like it was good for longer than Family Guy was.
I mean, yeah. So American Dad isn't as good as it once was, but it's better than what Family Guy is now. Definitely, yeah. Dude, have you listened to W.A.P? By Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B?
Yeah, it's shit.
Dude, that song is here's the thing. I think that it is it's a good a hip hop song. It's catchy, it's got a nice beat and all that, but it's not for me. It's just not made for me.
Well, yeah. Okay. I don't know, man. When Kia came out with fucking My Neck, My Back, people didn't treat it like it was some feminist anthem about the fucking, it's okay for women to feel cool about their sexuality. Like, I don't know. If you're a woman who likes to fuck, just fuck, but don't act like you're doing some sort of public service. I blowed 3 guys in one day. Man, I'm such a fucking feminist. Yeah. Goddamn. I got more cum in my belly than Rod Stewart. I'm killing it, queen.
But it's like, but that's the thing, is that women that like own their sexuality have been called like sluts and whores, and they're trying. It's like there's people in the world that would like to see it normalized for a woman to be able to be all about sex without getting the negative.
I'm sick of
connotation.
That word. I'm sick of that word so much.
What?
Normalize.
Normalize?
Let's normalize this. Let's normalize that. Just fucking shut up and do what you want to do. Like, you don't need anybody to normalize it. It used to be a cool thing just to be, you're kind of fucking weird. This is not normal behavior, but you're not hurting anybody, so you're just kind of a weird, cool dude. But sometimes, hey, I'm a transgender, man. Like, I don't think biological sex is a true thing. Hey, that's kind of weird, but you're doing you. Fucking do you. You don't need society to normalize your type of behavior.
Okay, so we don't need, you're saying we don't need society to sign off on everything.
When did we ever?
Yeah.
When did we ever need society to say, hey, this is okay to do? Like, I feel like I grew up and my whole thought process was, hey, this is a weird fucking thing, but I think it's cool, so I don't care if somebody thinks it's fucking weird. I'm just going to do me.
Right.
I don't need somebody to say, hey, let's make this normalized. Let's say this is okay in society. Who the fuck cares?
I think it's it's things that people have said are not okay.
Okay, why do you... I just don't understand the concept of caring enough about what other people think to say, hey, we need to have a fucking push forward to make this a normal thing in society.
Right. Well, I mean, it's people that have been I don't know, people who have been or feel like they have been oppressed by society telling them that this thing is bad. Like, for example, like women who like just like to have sex casually, and don't really care about being committed to like one person. They just want to they just like having sex. They like casually dating. In the past, it like that could be something that follows them around town. Maybe people don't want to like hire them as employees or don't want to like socialize with them because they're promiscuous or whatever.
That's fine. That's fine. Why would you why would you care as a person what somebody thinks about you if you're not harming anybody else?
When it affects your like for example, like if somebody doesn't want to give you a job because of your reputation of being a promiscuous woman, that is like keeping you from like being able to like make money to like live,
It's preventing you from that for that particular person, but like why would you want to work for somebody that hates your lifestyle, that thinks you're a fucking whore or a horrible person or just completely disagrees with your lifestyle? Why would you say we need to normalize this so that person has to give me a job?
Because people need money.
Then go find somebody that doesn't care.
Some places are like
don't
have all the resources, There's like limited places to be employed.
There's OnlyFans.
Well, there's OnlyFans.
Yeah, now there's OnlyFans. Why is there need to push for let's normalize this behavior when a fucking girl can literally take pictures of her feet and make more money than I can make doing hard work? Why do we need to normalize that? You can make money, you can make a living, you can do what you want. Who the fuck cares if somebody's just going to say, hey, you're a shitty person? Just fucking ignore that person. You don't need to normalize this shit. Like, you have all this... I feel like so many people care about the big picture.
The big picture?
Yeah, they care about changing the world to suit their needs so much whenever it's not really an issue. The world's not really holding them back as a person. But they just want... So many people strive for acceptance, and they want to change society to accept them whenever...
I think that's the thing, yeah. People want to feel accepted, yeah. I'm not saying that that's, like, a legitimate reason to, like, change society or whatever, but that's what it is, Because it feels bad when society tells you that the way you're behaving is wrong. And there's some people that can't just get over that or not care.
Well, then they're pussies.
That's like the moral of the story today is just everybody's a pussy.
Don't be a pussy, man.
Don't be a pussy.
Fucking Karen. You know what shit I take on a daily basis from people? I don't fucking care. Learn to talk shit back.
Yeah, you're a trooper.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to take a page.
Yeah.
From the book.
Get broken down as a person, and then, hey, maybe you'll survive or maybe you won't. But if you do survive, you'll be a pretty cool person. Okay? Just be able to let it roll off your back. Be like, yeah, it is the way it is. Fucking, yeah. Oh, you like
It's the new version of natural selection.
Oh, you like to get plowed by 5 fucking guys in a row? You're a fucking whore. Goddamn right, man. I'm 90% cum. That water's pretty salty at this point, but I enjoy it, man. Fill my holes up. I don't care. What's wrong with that? Why does that need to be normalized?
I don't know. They just want to be able to do it and feel good about it.
I don't think you should feel good about being plowed by 5 guys in a row. Like,
well, there's people in this world that are giving in to very base desires.
Okay.
And they want to feel like that's okay.
I don't know.
I'm not saying that they should, but that's what they're trying to do.
If you want to be a whore, be a whore.
Yeah.
Like, there's going to be people that are judging you for it, but why do you care? You enjoy it.
Yeah.
Let your freak flag fly, man.
Some people aren't that confident, though. Some people are very insecure.
It's not even about confidence. It's literally just saying, hey, this person's saying this shit to me now, but they're going to go away to their own little lives. They're going to forget about this. Who the fuck cares?
Yeah, but like I feel like there's like one reason that a lot of women who are like who might behave in that like very overtly sexual behavior, like with multiple partners and all that sort of stuff, like one reason they might do that is because of some sort of trauma that they experienced as a child, and they're filling the hole, literally and metaphorically.
Well,
and then like so they have this like insecurity about it.
I'll tell you who really liked W.A.P.
Who?
Jeffrey Epstein.
Jeffrey Epstein liked wet-ass pussy?
Yeah, he was a fan of wet-ass pussy, man. That's why he went for the youngest ones, man. Ew. Don't send me angry letters, ladies and gentlemen. Just, I don't know. Fuck off. Good night.